Good evening. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Rusty, what's going on? Kevin is trying to learn at 65. Excellent. Well, welcome to it. All the best of luck to you. It's never too late. And hopefully you'll find something tonight that spurs something on for you. Right on. Peter N., what's up in Sydney? Good day, mate. Thanks for restarting the email reminder. Yes, so we'll let our social media people and promo people know about you guys have been missing. I guess, I don't know, they only send out one a week, so sometimes if there's special promotions going on, they don't send this one out. So hopefully they'll continue to send this one out regardless, because I let them know that a number of you asked for it. So hopefully that'll be all good. All right, and he likes that Ibanez. I saw her standing there. Yeah, one of those Artcore, Ibanez Artcore hollow body. We borrowed that one. That was a while ago. That was a number of years ago we did that. We borrowed that from a friend. Since picked up an Ibanez hollow body, which you can see in some of the more recent Guitar Tricks videos, and I really dig it. Pretty amazing what you can get for the money these days. You don't have to spend a lot to get a quality guitar, right? Pretty happy with that one. Craig, good day. In Melbourne, good to see you. Dennis in Arkansas, from Arkansas, as always, welcome. Glenn B., good to see you from Pennsylvania. Max, what's up, Florida? Ken, also trying to learn at 67. Well, excellent. Thanks for joining, everybody. Nikki the dog, good to see you. All right. Andy E. from Florida, excellent. Mario from Norway, welcome, welcome. Terry, what's up? Jason from Perth, good day. James from Syracuse, what's up? King 50, North Nevada, good to see you. Jim Gregory, of course, good to see you in Maryland. Zane, what's up? Theodore, what's up? Jeff, what's up? Happy Friday back at you. Arthur, excellent, excellent. Get those fingers going, right? Ray from NorCal, what's up? Annie from Nigeria, welcome, welcome. Osman, good to see you. Mark from Mississippi, welcome, welcome. So if you're joining us for the first time, please just expand the description below us here. That'll reveal a link to tabs, because I go through a set of tabs every session, same time here, Friday, each week. Igor from Mexico City, good to see you. Duke 49, all right. Missouri, what's going on? Excellent, excellent. All right, good group, thank you. Yeah, so please have a look for the tabs if you have not found them already, and welcome. Thanks for joining, everybody. At any time, hit with can't talk tonight. At any time throughout the next hour or so, hit me with your questions, okay? I'll answer as many questions as possible. The regulars know the drill. This week we're on the electric. We switch it up each and every week. We'll go electric focus, acoustic focus following week, and so on and so on. But of course, all of these are applicable to both electric and acoustic. So it doesn't matter what type of guitar you have, you can still get some benefit out of playing through this stuff, right? I try to make these exercises so that hopefully maybe will inspire you to add in something throughout the next week. Revisit it, experiment with it, twist it around, change keys, change strumming patterns, whatever you got to do. But hopefully it's an impetus for you to just get on the guitar and start working on some stuff, all right? Raymond, what's up? Connecticut, good to see you. So this is officially the guitar workout. We've done 33 of these. This is volume 33. So pretty cool. We always start the guitar workouts out with a chromatic warm-up variation. And so if you look at exercise 1, Doug from Denver, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Might be a little confusing at first, so I'm just going to explain it a little bit. We're doing groups of 3, 8th note triplets. So you're going to pick 3 notes per click, as it were. And the click would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the pulse, right? So for each one of those clicks, you're going to go triple it, triple it, triple it, right? 3 picks with each of those. So you can see how they're arranged on the staff, groups of 3. Okay. Very straightforward, hopefully. Okay. Brownsk123 trying to learn, 77 years old. Welcome. I appreciate that. By the way, if you just tuned in, tabs are below here. There's a link to the tab. So expand the description below this video. Mario's first session with the electric. All right, man. Congrats. That's awesome. Okay, so chromatic warm up, it's not necessarily musical. It's just something to get the fingers going. HH, what's up? Good to see you. Just something to get the fingers going, and something that you can do sitting down for a couple minutes and just get warmed up a little bit. So you can see that I've got 5th, 6th, and 7th fret on the low string is going to be my first set of picks. And then the next set of picks is going to be on the A string, 4th, 5th, and 6th fret. So what I'd like you to do is sort of align the index finger with the 4th fret, okay? And so we're going to assign a finger to each fret. So the 5th fret's going to be the middle, 6th fret's going to be the ring, 7th fret's going to be the pinky, and we would go down to the next string, then we go index, middle, ring. So we haven't done anything quite like this before. So I'll demonstrate going up in that first bar and a half. Okay? A little bit interesting to get used to, because starting off using these three fingers, and then in the next string we're using a different set of fingers, right, and going back and forth, okay? Other thing I should note, as always, alternate picking. Keep your down ups nice and consistent, okay? Alternate picking is the most useful thing to burn into your picking when you're playing single note type stuff. If you work on that and make sure that everything you pick is with alternate picking, it's kind of built in, and it's a really good sort of baseline for you to increase speed and dexterity. And I'm not saying it's the only way to pick, because sometimes you'll encounter situations where you do all upstrokes, downstrokes, you kind of follow it through. But 90% of the time, if you pick alternate picking, it will benefit you. You'll be able to play most things without a problem. Okay, so that's why I sort of give that little disclaimer there. What's up, Kenneth? Good to see you. All right, so HH has a question. I went through your 5-day plan on the channel right here. I did do a 5-day practice example. I crashed. Come day 4, I need more guidance. Is day 4 and 5 when you get more advanced? Yeah, I mean, it's just there's no one-size-fits-all solution for guitar lessons, right? Like, or practice routines. You kind of just have to go with, be real with yourself and go with where you're at the time. So certainly if the first 3 days were working for you, then use that as your baseline to build from, right? So just roll through those a little bit, work your way towards some of the concepts I talked about in day 4 and day 5. If you feel like they were too challenging, a little too advanced, okay? So hopefully that helps a little bit. That's like a short answer, of course. There's a lot of longer answers that we won't have time for tonight for that, okay? Rodney, what's up? Hello, back at you. Is the finger notation in Bard 1 needing correction? Oh, do I already have a mistake? No. Oh, yeah, the fingers are not right. I didn't even realize that those were on there. I apologize. I did not even see those when I was creating this. Okay, so ignore. I will fix this and re-upload this to get rid of those, but ignore the finger numbers beside the notes on the staff. Okay, that was not meant to be there. So those are incorrect, yes. Another week, another mistake. What can I tell you? I do my best. It's never good enough. All right, it's for you. What's up? Good to see you. Right on, HH. Good stuff. Okay, so back and forth, up and down. We're snaking through. Okay? Middle ring, pinky, and then index, middle ring. Go as slow as you need to. Okay, and then there's a little bit of a jump up top. We're going to go to the pinky on the 8th fret. So we kind of move up 2 frets. And we're going to come down, coming down the string. So it's going to go pinky, ring, middle, and then ring, middle, index coming down and alternating between those. Okay. So let's try that again. All right. How are we doing on that? Everybody following? So you can do this. What you can do is move up and down the neck, doing this for a couple minutes. You can do this over and over in the frets that we have on the tab. It's sort of wide open. And of course, there are lots of different variations of this kind of thing. But really, it's just sort of a non-musical exercise to get loose and get your fingers going. And of course, this is great for your picking, great for your alternate picking. Use a metronome to keep your timing honest if you so desire, or just burn it out if you don't have a metronome handy. This is still a great exercise to run through, okay? Everybody got it? All right. Metronome to this, perhaps? Yes, Doug. Absolutely. I will never shy away from recommending a metronome if you're up for it. When we practice, you know, once we sort of get what we're playing under our fingers, it's really important to have some sort of time reference to be able to just work on that. Nice, smooth timing and rhythm. Okay, that's everything as a guitar player. So I'm not saying you need to have it going when you're working out where your fingers need to go, but once you've figured out the part or the exercise or what you're going to play, some sort of timing reference, whether it is you're playing along with a song, you're playing along with an exercise, you're playing along with an instructor on a video, or a metronome, a drum groove, whatever it is. Highly recommended. And the beauty of it is that it's trackable, right? So you can track your progress on it. If you have it going really slow and you're playing an exercise, a piece of music, it's keeping you honest with the timing, but also your speed, right? You can keep bumping up that metronome as you get more and more comfortable, and you can track your progress, getting faster and faster with your skills, right? All right. Exercise 2, everybody. Syncopated strums is what we usually do in the workout. Kind of an acoustic kind of thing, but of course it sounds really nice on the electric. I'll just play through it and we'll see what it sounds like. Well, one more time. All right, so we'll see if any of you recognize that particular progression. It is from a song, but the cool thing, yeah, there you go, Jeff. Ding, 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 ding. Still the same, a little Bob Seger, right? Playing off a C chord, and what's nice is that you've got the way you finger this chord, 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, but you've got your index and pinky to move around a melody on the B string. So you can see the first strum there on the downstroke is with the open B string, and that gives you a major 7, C major 7 sound, right? Because the C chord, you have your finger on the C note, 1st fret of the B string, but if we turn that into the B note, that's like the major 7th from a C major scale. So this ends up being a C major 7 chord. What's up, James? Welcome, welcome. So you can see that we've got some 8th note strumming here and some quarter note strumming. So the first one is a downstroke and then a down up. But when we go to the down up, we're going to put our finger down on the 1st fret and now make it a C major, okay? Now that once we have the C chord, it's a down, up, down, and let it ring out to the end of the bar. So Okay, so you know how I like to teach strums, right? Even though we're not strumming all of the beats, we have this motion going, right? Okay, and sometimes I'm going to strum the strings and sometimes I'm not. And why it's important to keep this motion going is to keep our timing nice and smooth. Okay. Next bar, we've got down ups here. Down, up, down, up, down. And then on that last up, I'm adding my pinky onto the 3rd fret of the B string onto the C chord. It gives it a C add 9 sound. And then on the next upstroke, going to an E minor. Okay? So I realize that this first 2 bars here are kind of syncopated. This is called syncopation. This means that we're strumming on some offbeats, okay? And we're holding some stuff longer and then coming in on offbeats. What's up, Audible? Good to see you. Okay, but if you're new to the strumming thing, if you're a beginner, if you're having trouble with the first 2 bars, just focus on the last 2 bars of this exercise. So the strum's a lot more straightforward, okay? I've got an E minor chord, okay? Open strings except for the 2nd fret of the A and D. And look at the strums of the 3rd bar of this exercise. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, okay? That's a great thing to practice if you're new to this, okay? And don't even worry about the chord changes or any of that stuff. Work on your timing, work on your strum. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Now, when I say it out, I'm just talking about the times that you hit the strings, but you're always motioning down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Nice and smooth, locked with a groove. If you have to go really slow, do that and work your way up, okay? Lots of repetition slowly, and you'll start to get it and start to be able to speed it up. If you have to go. Okay? Last bar is exactly the same. We're going to a G chord this time. Open G, same strum. Okay? So for you beginners, the last 2 bars. For those of you a little more advanced and you need work on some syncopated type stuff, first 2 bars are great. Put them all together and you get that riff, right? Okay. And one more thing of note there, 2nd bar, there is a rest in there, right? So when we're finishing up with that C chord, I'm hitting the 3rd fret of the B string with the chord on an upstroke, and sort of on the downstroke, I got my karate chop to just come down and cut off the strings, at the same time moving to E minor, and then coming back in to E minor on the upstroke. There we go. All right, Russ, working on pull-offs and not very clean. Do you recommend lighter strings or plug into an amp, as I'm using an acoustic for these? Yeah, good question. A lighter gauge string, I'm not sure if that might make a difference, but I'm thinking that it might not make a big enough difference. Plugging into an amp might help just for volume to be able to kind of hear it, but what you want to do is just do this kind of exercise, right? With each finger, and then go up to the ring, and then go up to the pinky. And just go as slow as you need to, even if you have to go. Okay? The trick to this is to kind of snap the finger so that you're actually sort of plucking the string, right? You see how I'm sort of pulling the string downward? So I think an exercise like this. So So do that for a couple minutes maybe before you launch into working on some of these solos, right? Because you're working on 2 tickets. That was a great one. Cool. I appreciate you checking out that one. 2 tickets to paradise on Guitar Tricks, everybody. Doug, Mike, it seems that Bob Seger pushes slightly ahead when he's changing the chords, which gives it a cool sound. Would you agree? I would have to listen to it. I was kind of just going off memory and doing something similar to that. By no means am I saying this is the note for note version of the song. Okay, so it might be a little different the way he strums that, right? So I'd have to check that out. But yeah, definitely could be the case there, Doug. Not sure about that. Audible, for an acoustic, I use my iPad, an acoustic electric with an amp modeler that makes it sound like an acoustic. That's cool. There's lots of acoustic simulators out there, especially on the computer, which is cool. So excellent, excellent. All right, so one more time through this example, and we'll kind of move on here. It sounds like this. Okay. All right. Exercise 3. Strum and arpeggiation exercise. This is using bar chords. So those of you new to bar chords, this is actually a great exercise for you. But Lorian has a question right now. Been playing for a while, but can't seem to get through any piece without mistakes. What am I doing wrong in my practice? Good question. I think that's a really common thing. So a few things to check. First of all is, are you making mistakes in the same spots? If you are making mistakes in the same spots, what I recommend doing is just working on that section. And just as a general note, as you regulars know, I always recommend playing through everything slowly but correctly with lots of repetition can help this problem. So the first thing is, if it's sort of the same sections of the song that you keep kind of messing up on, then you have to just work those sections, whether it be a 2-bar section or a 4-bar section. Slow it down to where you can play it over and over. Okay. And I'm talking about just the repetition is the key here. And also you need to make sure that you're playing it correctly over and over and over in succession. Okay. And sometimes we have to do that a lot slower, right? It's just a matter of burning it into your muscle memory, burning it into your muscles and raising the tempo as you get more and more comfortable with that. Okay. Beyond that, yeah, it's just, if there's mistakes happening just randomly all the way through, then it's just telling you that maybe you need to practice slower, maybe a few times, right? For example, if you're jamming along with a song, like a jam along song, for a song, you've learned all the parts, you know how to play it, right? But you'll keep just making mistakes playing along with the track. Well, then I would knock the track down to 90%, even 75%. And maybe when I sit down, play through the song a couple times at a slower tempo. And just that'll give you time to really focus and be intentional on hitting everything nice and cleanly and hopefully correctly. Okay. If you do that a couple times and you do that day after day, like sort of with everything, your overall skill is going to get a little sharper. And so hopefully the result of that is that you are making less and less mistakes overall, the more that you kind of think about practicing that way. Hopefully that helps. That's what I recommend. Okay. Audible. I end up using a metronome with a backing track to help with timing. Perfect. Excellent job. For some reason, I can't just follow a click metronome. It's tough, right? Because you got that click going and there's no other context. Okay. That's why I like drum grooves. That's why I like backing tracks, stuff that you can kind of play with and hopefully vary the speed. If you can slow it down to where it's comfortable for you to play and do repetition, there you go. And Mario says Brian May makes mistakes sometimes. Everybody does sometimes, right? So all we can do is just keep striving for, whether it's, like I said, I think I already explained it, but, just keep working towards it. All right. Nicky the dog, making mistakes walks hand in hand with playing. Yeah. And it depends on what you're doing, right? A lot of improvising, you're kind of making up stuff too. And sometimes it's not going to work. So that's just a sign that you're going for stuff, right? So some people would say that mistakes, especially when you're improvising, is sort of a good thing, right? Just play through the mistakes. There you go. Yeah, but if you're making the same mistakes, I would recommend, taking that chunk out and working on that little section. Cool. We got some amps with built-in tracks. We got computers with tracks. Excellent. Yeah, use whatever resources you can. As long as you're having fun, that's the number one. Nikki the dog, you got it. Okay. Exercise 3, bar chords. We're going to start with a C major bar chord low string on the 8th fret. That's our C note. So the root is on the low string. And we're doing just a simple strum and adding a little bit of an arpeggiation up top. Okay, so what's really important about this is that even though we're strumming the lower part of the chord, like sort of the low 4 strings here, we're arpeggiating the top 2 strings afterwards and letting it all ring. So we have to make sure that our bar chords are holding nice and strong. Okay, so the way that we work on this, and by the way, I have a video on this on Guitar Tricks channel. Just search for bar chords. So I won't go into a lot of detail, but we want to get our fingers on the right spots at the right angles so that nothing's doing that kind of thing, right? Nothing's fretting out. We got to get on there nice and strong, fingers as straight in as we can. Experiment with your thumb, all that kind of stuff, and practice all that. Okay, so starting on a C chord, coming down to the 5th fret, A minor. Same rhythm, okay? Coming down to F in first position. Okay? And then back up 2 frets to G. So this is the exercise. Okay? Go as slow as you need to go, okay? And let's think about what key this is in. This is a pretty standard chord progression. In fact, it's sort of known as ice cream changes. I guess the old time ice cream trucks used to play a song that was sort of sound like this, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, what key are we in? And what chords are these? I wonder. Does anyone know? Glenn B. All right, key of C. That all works, right? If we've got a C note, and then we have an A note. Yeah, Mario's got it. 1, 6, 4, 5, right? So if we take the root notes of the chords, okay, start on C. If we make C1, A is the 6th note of the scale. F is the 4th. G is the 5th, right? So we have our roots. The roots are 1, 6, 4, 5. Now in the key of C, the 1, 4, 5 chords are major, and the 2, 3, and 6 chords are minor, right? So our 6 chord is actually a 6 minor chord if we wanted to be super specific. So good job, everybody. We got it. Key of C, 1, 6, 4, 5 progression. Very nice. Good work, everybody. Rusty, I saw my GP the other day, explained to her I'm getting worse instead of growing. Apparently, I have COVID brain. I struggle with so many things. At least I know I was right. I'm really sorry to hear that, man. Dude, hopefully it gets better. Hopefully you're able to deal with it somewhat, but man, crazy. Sorry to hear it, my friend. Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully we can figure out how, yeah, just keep playing, man. That's a good one. Doug, Mike, I actually prefer drum grooves and backing tracks for timing over the metronome, but I feel the metronome is probably something I should use more. Your thoughts? Well, if you prefer Like, I think if you get frustrated with the metronome, use the drums and use backing tracks until you feel like you get to a point where, okay, now I can dive in and start to, like my rhythm and my feels at a level where I can start with the metronome and start working with that, because there is some value with the metronome, leaving all that space in between and you being able to create the subdivisions in between those clicks is really important. Okay. So definitely, if you feel like you're up to the challenge, I would encourage anyone to work with the metronome, but I get that it can be super frustrating. So maybe just work on drum grooves and backing tracks until you feel like you're improving a little bit your timing and rhythm with that, and then give another crack with the metronome. That's sort of what I would recommend. All right. Rusty, I think you should go back to the beginning and start again. Perhaps, dude, you just got to keep fighting and go and do what you think you got to do, right? And hopefully still have some fun playing guitar, I guess, right? Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear all that stuff. Take care, my man. Thanks for dropping in as always. One thing I learned not too long ago was that if you aren't sure what the strumming pattern is, use the drums as a good thing to follow. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Try to lock in with what the drums are doing. Really good advice. Okay. Russ says, please keep doing these progression exercises more. I love this. Trying to figure it out. Excellent. Okay. Well, we'll keep it up. Right on. Kyle, having trouble memorizing the fretboard. Are there any tricks other than the four bar chords, which I've already memorized? Yes. So what you want to learn is the octaves trick. Well, first of all, what you want to do is try to learn there's a couple things you can do. The first thing you can do is pick a note a day. Okay. So all it takes, a couple minutes a day. Pick a note a day, just any note. Could be G, right? And then either look it up or figure it out on the fretboard where all the G notes are from the nut to the 12th fret. Okay. You can even just go ahead and look it up and then just play through it, right? Like just, okay. Look for the G notes and work on it for a couple minutes. You'll find it'll start to retain itself, right? Another thing you can do is learn the octave shapes, because if you know where a few of the notes are, you can find the other notes as octave shapes. So if you start on a low string, if you skip the next string and go up to the string after, up 2 frets, that'll give you the same note up an octave. If you keep doing that from the D string, skip the G string, go up to the B string. Because the B string is tuned flat, you have to go up 3 frets, but there's the next one, right? So, okay. Now, if you can find the root on the A string, okay, it's the same thing holds. So if I skip the D string, go up to the G string, go up 2 frets, there's another G note. Again, if I go from the G, skip the B string, go up to the high string, go up 3 frets, there's another G note. Okay. Also remember that every 12 frets, the note is an octave higher. So I've got a G here. If I go up 12 frets from the 3rd fret, that's the 15th fret, right? So if I come up here, there's my octave, same note. Okay. So there's a number of ways to kind of figure that stuff out. Okay. With the octave shapes, we'll try to learn a note a day. And then as Mario says, learn where, if you come up, learn on one string where all the letter notes are. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and then it repeats, right? And remember, all the letters are 2 frets apart except E and F and B and C, which are 1 fret apart. Okay? So if you've already learned the notes on the 5th and 6th string, there you go. You can use octave shapes to do that, or just simply count horizontally, and then it doesn't matter what letter you're on. You can do it on any string, right? As long as you know the starting note. Lots of ways to do it. Good luck with it. Great question. Excellent, excellent. And thanks everybody for the suggestions as well. That's awesome. Exercise 4, Triad Exercise. You know I love to do Triad exercises. Once again, doing a chord progression here. And this time I'm using, as opposed to the last time we did this, I'm using Triad shapes on the D, G, and B string. Okay, so Triad shapes are across 3 strings, okay, and they'll give us either a major or a minor chord. They can also give us augmented and diminished chords, although they're less common than this. So we're just sticking to major and minor chords. I've got an A minor, okay, and you can see 2nd fret of the D, 2nd fret of the G, 1st fret of the B. Okay, even though that's part of our open A minor, okay, that we all learn as our open chords, right? It turns out that these 3 notes by themselves still make an A minor chord. That's all you need. It's bare minimum, right? Because I've got a root, A, I've got the minor 3rd, C, and the 5th is E, okay? This particular inversion of the triad is such that the root is in the middle and the 5th is on the bottom, okay? So let's see, we're going from that shape to the 3rd fret of the D, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B. Now this is a minor shape where the root is actually on the top, the 5th's in the middle, and the minor 3rd is the 3rd fret of the D string. It's on the bottom, the 3rd. And this one's a D minor. So that first bar looks like this. Whoops. Right, so our strum's a down, up, and then a mute. We switch on the mute, upstroke, and then an up, down, up. So, okay. Next is 3, 2, and 1 on the D, G, and B. This is an F major triad. Okay, you might recognize that from the full F major bar chord, but we can simplify the chord and just use those 3 notes. Okay. Same strum pattern, mute, and then going to the 2nd fret of the D, open G, 1st fret of the B. Okay. And that, once again, has got the root on the top. That's the C. Open G is the 5th. E is the major 3rd. So E's on the bottom. That's a C major triad. Okay. So some different shapes right here. All right. So what key is this in? Anyone? Let's see if we can figure it out. Until we figure that out, okay, let's look at the next set of 2 bars. It's the exact same exercise, but now we're coming up the neck and playing it like this. Okay, so different shapes, but it's the same chords, right? Up the neck. This is how powerful triads are. We can play the same chord progression no matter where we are on the fretboard, right? Kyle's got it. I would go with A minor, okay? C is also correct, could be also correct. So there is a little bit of a gray area with the key on this song. But, well, C as you look at the circle of fifths. Well, you can also think of it as A minor. Now, remember that A minor and C major are relative keys. So both of those keys share the exact same notes. And so they share the exact same chords, right? Yes, C is the relative major, but you can also think of this as in A minor. So it might be something where we might need more information, like maybe a vocal, like what does the vocal melody sound like over top of that chord progression, might give us a stronger clue as to what whether we're in A minor or C. But you're both correct. They both work, okay? I kind of like, actually, I'm coming around. I actually think it's C, or I like C, because it feels like we're home at C, right? Like just instinctually. Like if you just strum this, whoops, not like that. And what if you just did a single strum at the end of that and not the other strums and just let it ring out? It kind of sounds like it could be at the end of the song, and then it feels resolved. So feel like, yeah, it could be a C, could be the key of C, but this also works as the key of A minor. In the key of C, what chords are these? Right? Sounds more like A minor to audible. So there you go. Gray area here. Okay, if you think about it in the key of C, right? What are the Roman numeral chords for this progression? Anybody know? And you have to specify what key you're thinking of it in, because there are going to be different Roman numerals if you think of it as in A minor, if it's the key of A minor, versus the key of C, right? Now, if we're in the key of C, then the C is going to be 1, right? Well, let's see. Jason's got this, and he's talking about the key of A minor. Okay, so he's got a lowercase 6. No. He's talking about the key of C. Okay, so there we go. A minors is minor 6, correct. D minor is the minor 2, that's correct. F is the 4 chord. C is the 1 chord. Absolutely. Jason, you got that 100%. Okay. Mario's got it as well. Perfect. Yeah. Right? Okay. So if you were to think of this in A minor, then what are the chords? Then we've got 1 minor, D minor, which is 4 minor, right? Then F, which is flat 6 major, and then C, which is flat 3 major, right? I know it's confusing, right? Is anybody with me on that? In the key of A minor, you got to think of it with different Roman numerals, right? Because you got to make A minor the 1 chord. In a minor key, you've got the 1, 4, and 5, which are minor, but then you've got all these, the flat 3, the flat 6, and the flat 7 chords, right? So that's why it's a little bit weird. Yeah, Kyle's got it, except you got to think, you got to put a flat before the 6 and before the 3. I'm confused, but it's good stuff. There you go. What was that D minor chord? Are you talking about the fingering of it? The triad? XYZ, there you go. All right, everybody, I won't spend too much more time on it. Just thought a little bonus to think about it, and it explode some brains a little bit. But look at the second set. Look at those triad shapes, okay? F, C, okay? Learn these major and minor triad shapes on all strings, all 3 variations on all string sets. Super, super important, okay? Let's see, hold on. I think I missed a comment from Doug. The triads, I'm discovering they're so important for lead, but huge accompaniment. Are there triad scales anywhere that could be practiced? Yeah, so what you want to do is, what I would recommend is learning the cage system. The cage system ties all of this stuff together, and you don't have to think of things as all compartmentalized. You can think of things in a macro, everything's connected and everything's sort of the same. So what I would do is learn the 5 patterns of major and minor scales as they connect across the fretboard, and also learn the chord shapes that are attached to those scales. Once you learn the chord shapes that are attached to those scales, within those chord shapes, you will see the triad shapes. They're right in there. And then you can extrapolate out of the triad shape and see the scale notes all around the triad. okay? So there's no special scale for triads. It's still the same major and minor scales. But what I recommend doing is thinking about the triad shape within a broader chord shape that has a full scale pattern in that area of the neck, okay? Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, last one through. We're going to move it up a little bit. Let's see, I thought D minor was E, G, B, E1, G2, B3, yes. Okay, so this is just actually audible. This is just what I was talking about. You can actually have a D minor, because look, that's an F note, right? Well, this is an F note too. So what if I still have 2 and 3 on the G and B string and just add the lower F note? That's what I did, okay? That makes an a D minor triad where the F is in a lower octave, okay? And so it's a different shape. Can you see that? Can you see that you have D minor up top, and instead of this F, we're going to that F, okay? There we go. Doug, I know the cage system, as it connects like a conveyor belt, you can jump in wherever you want with whatever pattern and follow from that point. Yes, so if you know the cage system, then perfect. All you have to do is recognize all the triad shapes within the cage system, within each scale pattern as it appears wherever you are on the fretboard, okay? That's how it works. No, we're working on the D, G, and B strings audible. So I'm looking at triad shapes on that string set. I'm not using the top string, okay? Cool. All right, so just, yeah, sorry, I spent a long time on this, but the final ones are up here, okay? So I've got that same D minor shape. If I move it up to the 9th position, where I've got 10, 9, 10 on the D, G, and B, that's A minor, okay? So that's what I've got there. And then I've got D minor right here, and talking about the cage shape, right? That's the D minor bar chord shape. If you just pluck out these notes, you got that. Okay, F, it's just going to be the 10th fret there, one finger chord, and then C, right, which is part of this one. All right, triads. Learn them. Let's do it. Cool. All right. Jazz swing progression. Okay, this is a cool little progression right here. Let's talk about these sort of jazzy chords. We're breaking it up a little bit. Let me play through this first. And we've got a little bit of a swing on this, so it's... Okay, one more time. Let's see. There we go. All right, so you can actually strum this. Actually, I have this transcribed as strumming it down on the root and an up on the chord part. Okay. All right. Cool little turnaround the last 2 bars. The first one's is just a 1 and a 4 chord with extended 7th chords and 9th chords. So we've got a G major 7. This is sort of the jazzy way to play a G major 7 is the root, 3rd fret of the low string, curl your finger to mute the A string, and then you've got the 4th fret of the D and G, 3rd fret of the B. The C9, right, 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D, and then bar down on the 3rd fret of the G and B string. Okay. And so this is sort of a swing, so we're... If it was straight, it would be. Let's see. Excellent, excellent. Let's see. Hold on a second. I missed something, I think. Something got retracted. Oh, Guitar Thinker. Kyle, good one. Ton of theory, chords, and cage lessons. There you go, Guitar Thinker. We also have some cage lessons on guitar tricks too as well. All right? Those are the first two bars. Okay. Then we're going to start to climb up. G major 7, come up chromatically, and then grab, what I do is bar down on the 3rd fret of the D, G, and B, and then add the 4th fret of the G. That gives you that diminished 7 chord, right? This is a common chord progression right here. Nice little passing chord, I guess they call that. Right, A minor 7, you got the root on the low string, and then on the same, we're curling around to mute the A string, and then same fret on the D, G, and B string. I use 2 fingers to get that. And then this is D7, which is basically a C7. You know that chord, right? And we don't strum the upper E, the top E string, but it's the same shape up here. Okay, so we just go, right? Cool, cool, jazzy swing, jazzy progression, all right? Cool, cool, play with it, mess around with it. Transpose to different keys. All right, I wanted to show you sort of a Hendrixy thing a little bit because this is a really cool move on the fretboard that opens up a lot of stuff. It doesn't look like a lot how I've tabbed it out, but I'm going to show you how to extrapolate and to kind of start to experiment with it. So the first part you might recognize. So I've got the 5th fret of the 2 low strings. I've got the 7th fret of the D and G string. This is basically a power chord, okay? I've got a root on the A string. I've got the lower 5th, octave 5th, and then the octave root. Okay, so this is just a straight power chord, basically. And I'm going up chromatically. Okay, but look, I'm in 7th position now, and I can go like this. Now what am I doing? So I'm barring down at the 7th fret of the D and G, but I've got the 9th fret of the A. This becomes a triad now. These previous ones were just power chord. They were just root and 5th. So they weren't major or minor. They were just power chord, right? Root 5th. Didn't have a quality to it. But now I'm making a major triad. I've got the root up top, which is D, the 5th below it, and I've gone to the 3rd on the A string, major 3rd. So if I come up chromatically now, okay, now I've turned those into major chords with a sort of a different looking chord. So all together, okay? Nicky the dog, you got it, right? So when Hendrix plays this, I had a real tough time tabbing it out. So I ended up not doing it. I'm just going to show you how to do this. If you bar down on the 7th fret of the A, D, and G string, and then hammer on quickly to the 9th fret of the A, you get the Hendrix thing. Okay? Okay, this is super powerful. Like I'm teaching this in the context of like a song that you might recognize, right? But let's just take the E chord for a second. Okay, axe it, Doug. Okay, so if I take E major right here, okay, a common move to play off this chord and see, you know, because right here we're just strumming it, and maybe we can kind of go. can do that kind of thing, right? But you're playing off an E major. But you can do a lot more embellishment if you make this move, what we've done in the second bar of this example, okay? You don't have to do the hammer on, just look at the chord shape now. We've moved up so that we've got the D chord on one finger, and now we have you've got notes to embellish off this. So a really simple one is that quick hammer on right there. But you can do all that kind of stuff. Okay? Tons of stuff you can do here because now we've got D major pentatonic box right there. Okay? All right, just showing you sort of what's possible if you just sort of think about playing off the upper part of that chord. Did I say D? I meant E. I've got E major pentatonic box. Playing off an E chord here. My apologies. You with me? Hanging in there. I hope so. All right, all right. Yes, great. Okay, legato exercise. I'm actually going to turn up a little bit. Let's see. That's the first bar, okay? Okay, so just working on hammer-ons and pull-offs. This is sort of legato playing, right? So this is a great exercise to play some, you know, this is all diatonic scale patterns, okay? So on the B string, 7, 9, 10, 9, 7. The idea is that you're only going to pick as you change strings. Okay? You want to keep it going, so it's we're going to move down on the G string. It's going to go 9, 7, 6, and then down to the 7th fret of the D, and then come back up 6, 7, 9. Okay, second bar, we're going to do the same thing with the scale pattern, but start on the D string. And then end it on the A note. This is all from A major. Okay, so okay, that's what we want to try and do. Okay, try to get it up fast. But great exercise just to work with moving up and down strings, playing hammer-ons, pull-offs. Okay, I know I'm running out of time here. I'm sorry, I'm rushing through stuff. And finally, just showing you sort of this hybrid picking sort of riff. Bluesy, sort of a country thing that you would probably see this in, but it is it's based on the blues, right? Oops, I'm down 2 frets. Here we go. Okay, so doing this out of an A major bar chord shape or an A7 bar chord shape. So you want to plant down, roots on the 5th fret of the low string, and you're going to bar down on the 5th fret of the D and G. Hybrid picking, okay? So I've got a pick on the low string, plucking the D and G, and hammering on the 6th fret of the G string. Okay, and in between all these, I've got a little palm muted pick on the low note, 5th fret of the low string. Grabbing the 7th fret of the D and G. Okay, and just playing that same hammer-on riff again. Now, when I go to the 4 chord, I can go to this shape. Okay? So this is like a different shape. This is based on a different chord shape. So I've got the 5th fret of the D string, 3rd fret of the, 5th fret of the A, 3rd fret of the D, 5th fret of the B. Hammering on from 3 to 4 on the D. And then you got to flatten down to get the 5th fret of the D and G. And then you can move that up 2 frets to get the E7. That's the idea with that one. All right, just showing you sort of a little, don't see it very much on the D7 and E7, using that kind of chord shape to get a similar feel to that original riff. That's what I was hoping to show you tonight, everybody. Wow, sorry for blowing through the last 4 exercises, but lots of great questions tonight. Thank you so much for the questions. That was awesome. Doug, Mike, on legato, you only strike the note once and then do hammer-ons and pull-offs? Yes. The only time you want to pick is when you change strings. Everything else is a hammer-on pull-off, okay? This is my April Fool's practice. It absolutely is. Man, I forgot that I was going to answer all the questions wrong and just April Fool everybody, but I did not do that. I answered the questions to the best of my ability. So hopefully we will not be in trouble for that. Thank you, Arthur. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Peter. Thank you so much. Excellent, crappy editor. Yeah, try it out later. Excellent, excellent. The legato is a finger workout. Indeed it is. Enjoy it, Nikki the dog. All right. Thanks, Russ. Thank you, Glenn. James, thanks so much. King 50, thank you. Thanks, Jim Gregory. Appreciate that. Thank you, HH. Very kind. Very kind. Zane, thank you. We'll see you next week. Mario, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, everybody. Right on, Rusty. Thank you. Audible, thank you. Again, thanks so much for the great participation. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back on the acoustic next week. Thank you, Jason. Thanks for getting us those chord progressions. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great week next week. We'll see you same time next week on the acoustic. Cheers, everybody. Take care. All right.